Good morning, YouTube. The weather has finally started to dry out a little bit in the Ozarks, and we're finally making some progress trying to get some of these projects done. This one, as you guys have probably seen most of the winter, is our Table Rock project. It's in a very challenging lot that's on a very steep hillside that drops right down to the core and the lake. So this is kind of just the first phase. The kid digging in the gravel on the right-hand side, it was his very first day, and he just had to dig in gravel. Again, this pool is very backward. Normally, we pour the floor first and then the walls when we're doing a liner or a membrane. But in this particular instance, it just wasn't possible given the big fall that this one's sitting on. So we had to pour the walls first, created a lot more handwork. But as you can see, we're getting it done. We poured the floor. We got all the gravel graded. Now we're building the stairs, and then it goes on to the liner. What is up, YouTube? You can see behind me, we finally got some beautiful weather to finish up some of our pool projects after the wettest April, wettest May, and wettest start to June on record. We're in an absolutely crazy wet cycle. That lake behind me right over here is still 10 or 12 feet high, and they can't let too much water out at a time or they flood the lakes downstream. So it's been crazy. When we drive out of here, I cross a bridge and there's docks that are about 50 feet from the shore right now because they're just going up and down, and you guys are having to swim out to their boats right now. So been a wet year. We're finally getting hot and a little drier. I don't think we have any rain next week either. But my boys worked on this pool quite a bit this week. My Amish have still been off, but they're kind of starting to filter back in. We're getting the element house pretty much wrapped up, and hopefully getting them back on some of these pool builds real soon so I can show you guys more kind of final progress. But I'm going to show you all the progress we've made on this one with all of the inside shapes. Sometimes we use CMU blocks, but more and more we're using just ICF, and when it dictates, we'll use geotechnical foam blocks instead of, like, there's a scrap piece right there, but where we can fill that in on the tanning ledge over here instead of having to put gravel in there. It works out really, really good. So I'll take you guys in there real quick, kind of as a final walk around. We are pouring this next Tuesday. We were trying to pour it today, and it was just one of those things where when you press to pour concrete, that's when mistakes happen. We've got a form here that is for our 2-inch thick concrete lid. We want it to match our coping, so we're going to pour it with the same concrete at the same time. We still have to put reinforcement in there, but after that, we're going to pour that, vibrate it real good, and stamp it, and then we will cut it because we're not exactly sure where the brackets will end up going. The thing about the Aquamatic auto cover, it's got a thing called a compensator pulley, and it rides basically in the middle, but it kind of tells you where it needs to go because the tension centers it. And from there, you start laying everything out. So you really can't predict 100% where that's going to be. So if you tried to make your pavers, 2 foot long or 3 foot long, they might not look right. So we're just going to pour the entire thing and then cut it. So it'll work really nice. So here's our well. We actually use CMU blocks to direct that. We glued them in place, and then we just used some of my old cam lock forms to sit on top of that CMU block to bring it right up to the coping height. As you see, this one's got the PDF form for the Aquamatic auto cover. Those things are straight as a string, and once the concrete's poured in there, it's ready for the liner and the auto cover. And the shape here, we've got a triangle step in the corner to get in and out, and then a little tanning ledge. He wanted a swim lane, so it doesn't go all the way across. We left a lane there to go all the way across, and it has a bench that runs all the way down the length of the pool, which you guys might remember the one I did in Grand Junction, Colorado. It looked a lot like this. Full depth on this one is 6'8". It's not a full 8 foot deep. They're not gonna be diving. But guys, the thing that made this one so wild, and I'll get into a full tour video when we're done, was a fiberglass guy came out, looked at this and said, nope, just walked off, never even got in the backyard, just looked over the top of the retaining wall. And just this setting is a beautiful place for a pool, but it's a challenging place for a pool. You couldn't do a steel wall or a polymer wall vinyl liner without a significant expense, like tens of thousands, if not $100,000, to terrace this backyard with a massive retaining wall. But because of ICF's structural nature, we were able to use a 10-inch core wall that is the pool wall and the retaining wall, if you will. I mean, it runs right out, and that is one of the things, I mean, even on a very simple vinyl liner, it can become a structural element to a backyard. He brought in like 80 some loads of dirt to fill in this so far, but you really couldn't do that to the whole backyard because right where we're standing gets too close to the, to the bluff. I mean, you probably can't see it, but the water line right now is right there. I can see the water lapping up on the bottom of the trees just right there. So, I mean, in a straight line, the water's 75 feet away, and it just gets very steep. So if he tried to bring this ground out level clear to here, it would have just been rolling off into the Corps of Engineers easement, and then he'd have got in trouble. So that wasn't an option. And this is where ICF really shines, because it enables you to have a structural pool without, I know people say gunite structural, whatever, but it's usually not. If you're burying it, they only go 5-6 inches thick. If you have an infinity edge, they thicken it up, but it doesn't have a structure like this inherently. They have to engineer that in. So ICF is awesome, guys, not just for pools, houses as well, commercial buildings. We're getting ready to build some warehouses out of ICF. It's the way. It's not a way of the future. It's the way now. All right. So after 3 separate attempts to clean this pool up and get it ready for a liner, only to have torrential rains move in when they were not even on the radar or scheduled 3 separate times. Me and Marshall he rode down with me to look at another job, and we thought we'd drop the liner real quick. We got rained out. We went, looked at the other job. The sun popped back out. I just needed to get this done so bad. He hung in with me. We knocked it out. It went great. You can see us here. We got all of our foam down on the floor. People love that little feature. It's not necessarily required, but people love how it feels under their feet. They make comments all the time that it's the nicest liner they've ever felt because it doesn't have that real hard feeling where it feels thin and cheap. It's got a really luxurious feel under your feet. See here, we get the vac behind it, and it kind of draws everything up nice and tight. We start to fill it, and obviously we're going to come back on Monday. All right, guys. I did not think we were going to get this done before the weekend. We didn't get it done. It's Saturday. It's one of those weeks. It was super hot. We got a lot of work done. We started a brand new pool over in Springfield. That's going to allow me to show you a lot of the new monopore parts, Joey's new legs, our new cove for the monopore, all that stuff. We got that started this week. Beautiful weather. And then at the end of the week, we kept getting these like 3 p.m. rain showers. We came down here trying to get this liner in. This is our 3rd attempt. We finally got it done before it rains again. So it's about 5 o'clock on Saturday evening. I'm going to tap the mains as soon as there's a little more water in here. We're going to peace out till Monday. He's bringing in about 18,000 gallons in trucks. This thing will be up and running Monday morning. So, guys, got a lot coming, a lot going on. Don't forget to check out all3pools.com for any of your ICF or pool needs. All right, so we come back on Monday, and he has Limitless Liquids bring us 3 6,000-gallon trucks. And that's really a fun way to do it, guys. Not quite as fun as a fire hydrant directly, but it is a very, very fast kind of instant gratification way to fill the pool up. I think it took about 3 hours. He had about a 35-40 minute round trip back to the water tower, but that gave us time between trucks to tap all of our returns and our skimmers, and turned out really good. It's kind of like I said, it's really nice when you can fill a liner in one day, or even faster sometimes. So Monday we get this done, we get everything up and running, and it just turned out fantastic, guys. This project, even though it was in a very challenging location and a little bit far away, it just turned out really, really excellent. So really excited to bring you guys the end of this. All right, guys, what a view. Look at this. So everything's up and running. I'm going to give you a quick turnaround tour here. We just got the equipment done up. The pool is completely full. You can kind of see a little bit of stuff kind of blowing out of the returns. You might even notice that in the drone videos at the beginning. You can kind of see the returns kind of blowing. That's the CYA dissolving in the filter. And the pump's turned up pretty good, trying to get all the little foam doohickeys and everything else out of the pool. So you can kind of see this, guys. It's pretty wild. I mean, this wall here is about 12 feet high. Pool's about 6.5 feet deep, and just sitting up here on this beautiful bluff overlooking Table Rock Lake. No other kind of pool could do this as easily. I was telling one of my buddies that works at SCP that he came down here to bring me something on a emergency kind of deal. And I was like, man, you know, your steel wall and your polymer wall vinyl liners would require, you know, an $80,000 to $100,000 retaining wall from over here all the way through to over here, and to start off with. So even the guys that say these pools have to be more expensive, which they're not, they would have to admit that the fact that this pool is structural and does not require a retaining wall to be installed. Gunite, you could do something like this, but the extra engineering in the two walls that are out of the ground would obviously be double to triple the cost of a pool like this. So these things really fit a ton of bills, guys. This one is a vinyl liner. We almost went up to rental it on it, but you know, it's residential pool, auto covered. No animals are going to be jumping in here. This liner will last a long, long time. It's a branded liner. This one's called I think Santorini. And it's got, I don't know if you can see it with the water getting a little murky with all that CYA starting to dissolve, but it's got these gold flakes in it that when they catch the sun are really beautiful. Very similar to the Sea Glass, which was my very favorite liner ever last year. But very pretty liner. We got the Aquamatic drum set today. We didn't get the cover in. We didn't get the pump, the hydraulic pump for the cover wired up yet. That's the last thing we got to do next week after the 4th. But you can kind of see over here, we've got everything else done, up and running. Bob is actually hooking up a CO2 system. He's gonna have a CO2 feed for the pH, kind of an AOP system. But I've got, you know, skimmer, main skimmer, VS3, sacrificial anode, heat temperature sensor, goes into the filter, out of the filter, into the heater, into the salt chlorine generator, through the check valve so we don't backfeed chlorine into the heat exchanger, and into 2 redundant return lines. So pretty simple. We'll have our hydraulic pump will sit right there. Hydraulic lines will come out of the equipment room there. So, or the well, and that's that, guys. All right, guys. So this pool is turning out amazing. Obviously, there's still a little bit of flat work that is getting done by others, and we will get the auto cover done first part of this week, and I will try to show you guys that finished product as well, maybe some details on the install. This one's got the concrete lid, which is a pretty awesome upgrade. So guys, stay tuned. Tons more content coming. We got a lot of really cool projects going. See you next week.